in the house with up-and-comers of Hollywood. I am so excited that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're so talented, and so I'm so excited. I'm sure our listeners are so excited to hear about your journey. So tell me, where are you from, and how did you get into this business?
Thank you so much. I am actually from Portland, Oregon. I currently live in Los Angeles. So I've traveled a ways to get here. This is my second time living in LA, and the first time was kind of a failure. So I'm happy to have finally gotten here, got stable, and it's been a long journey of a lot of, wins and losses as well. But it's definitely the place I want to be, and I don't plan on moving from Los Angeles. So,
Well, we got to get into all those challenges that you had on your way. So let's talk about Portland, Oregon. So that's where it all began.
well, I don't come from a family of musicians, so neither of my parents sing, and I did have a musical influence growing up, which was my aunt. She was in Broadway, so every time she would come home from her tours, she would, sit with me at the piano. But she was traveling a lot, but that was a huge influence for me.
And how old were you then?
I was a bit younger, so I was, probably about 11 or so. She was professionally playing, and I just would pick up and jam with her as far as vocals go. So I would just sit with her, and it just inspired me so much. By age 16, I was in a live rock band. So they would have to sneak me in through the back in the luggage, like with the luggage.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you were underage?
Yes.
Wow. So you were gigging at like nightclubs and stuff like that in Portland, Oregon?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever get caught?
Never. No.
Wow.
I don't
Okay.
know how, but it's one point in my life where my aunt came off tour and she recognized like I had gotten better at singing, and she's like, I got to get you into this vocal trainer. So I started at 18 doing operatic practicing, and I didn't really fall in love with that particularly, but singing and songwriting has always been a big part of my journey and self-expression. So. Well, I consider myself genre bending. I appreciate all music. From practicing, rock and opera, I sang in choir too, as well, in a black choir, and that's kind of where I picked up this like, harmonizing. And, that kind of got infused somehow, somewhere along the lines, and I just kind of formed a new sound.
Because you have some gospel in there and some
Yes.
R&B, but yet some rock and pop.
Yes, I
It's
think I
some-
kept the live elements. I really like live elements of violin and piano and live drums. Yeah.
Okay, so you started out in rock. So what was that, grunge rock? Only because I think of Portland, Oregon being starting out with grunge
Yes.
rock.
Yes, it was actually a screamo band. So I was the ambient vocalist. That's what they titled my.
And what does that mean? It's a persona.
Lots of harmonies and high sounds, like angelic vocals.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a great voice anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, everyone will agree with me once you listen to her music because I'm a big fan.
I think number one thing to get it going for me was to start taking initiative to start making music on my own. It was moving slow. So I just took initiative to start producing for myself, start writing more, and just really pushing out records on my own, add to my catalog. Producing your own record means taking a concept you have and making the instrumentation, using your voice as a tool, putting songs together to put out into the world.
So you're laying it out with the machines and the instruments that you have?
Usually I will either, collaborate with some friends to get together and play and sample those instruments and implement that into my song. I use my voice a lot. That's probably my number one tool or, instrument, and I can transform my voice into any sound. So that's kind of an interesting thing about music production.
That sounds amazing that you can do that. So you're so talented like that. So producing your own music instead of going with a producer. So
I still work with other producers, but when I wanted to pick up the pace a little bit and get it done without waiting, I just kind of was like, I am creating a song a day. I need to like be able to have, access at my fingertips to do so. And so that's really where I took initiative. I'll have visions. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then I wish I had a pen and paper, but I usually don't. So, like anybody, just takes a note down in your phone or a voice note and then fall back asleep sometimes. Often it happens in my sleep, or it could be something that a concept started in my mind. Someone was telling me a story or something that inspired me. It could be art or anything. And that usually starts the writing process because I'm doing so many things. I'm writing and then building the song, production around, my lyrics, composing everything, every part of the record. And it takes so much heart and focus and yeah.
So you're creating the music.
Yes.
So you lay down tracks, other people's tracks, or you create your own music,
both,
melody?
Both, depending on what project I'm working on. But a lot of times in my creative process, I'm all by myself. So.
And you have a little studio at home?
Yeah, I have a home studio. Yes.
Oh, okay. So when you wake up in the morning and you can just go at it and create your
day and night. Yeah.
And then you create it, you get it finished.
Yes.
Finalize it, I guess.
Yes. And then on my most recent project, I had a record finisher. So his name is Jordan, and he helps me with that. So I'll have a concept pretty much all done, and I mix my vocals a bit, and he gets it really, polished. So that really helps my creative process. I can just keep pumping out music when I have a little help, assistance, like a team of people I can turn to.
Yeah, so it sounds like even though you do produce yourself, it's still a collaborative effort. You also need other folks to kind of help you close it out and
definitely.
Get it out. Okay.
And other people that you trust. You want to turn to them and say, does this sound good? What do you think about this? Does this need to be lower as far as like the volume or the music? And usually your circle of people that you can turn to, your network, and that solidifies if the song sounds good, ready for release. Or
I really like collaborative efforts in everything, like the art we do, and then for our films. But because other people have different pulses on what's happening in the music industry, right? Because you're what you like to do, but then someone else can come in there like, hey, this is kind of like the thing that we're seeing that people like. When this add a little bit of this,
yes,
some of it.
Yeah, I have some really amazing artists that I turn to, that help me gauge when a song is ready. And I feel like it takes a couple more ears other than yours, because your ears can get burnt out when you're like editing audio and you're like, does this even sound good after like the 100th millionth time you've heard it.
TXVX, tell me, how do you promote your music?
I utilize social platforms for sure. I make sure that I try to post consistently and ask people in my network to share my music and support me, and I turn to building a community because I think that's the best way nowadays. I'm not on a label, so being an independent artist is a little more tricky, but also there's a lot of hope because of social media, and it's a powerful tool.
So what's your Instagram handle for those who are listening?
TXVX Music.
That's easy.
Yes.
TXVX Music. So make sure you listen to TXVX, her handle, TXVX Music,
yes,
and listen to her music and go ahead and download some of her music. Do you have a manager right now?
I do have a specific person who I turn to for advice on bookings and who kind of oversees, and if I need someone to speak on my behalf, like a day-to-day person. But all in all, I manage everything from my social media to my music, what I put out, and it's a lot of work.
You do everything.
Yes, I do.
Whoa. Okay. So if people out there who's in the music and you want to be successful, like TXVX, you're going to put in a lot of work. But at least she's telling us how, she's kind of doing it. So you get a little bit of a blueprint. And that's why we're here today. So are you wanting to be a part of a label? Is that something that you see in the future for yourself? Or do you like being an independent artist?
That's a great question. I think that being on a label entails a lot of contracts and money, and I feel like that would be holding so much over my head, because a lot of times just because you're on a label and they're funding you, you do have to pay that money back. It's not free. So really you're still struggling financially. I think the power of being an independent artist is great, because you can, for me, I do contracted jobs and nobody takes from my money. Like if I have to go, because I also produce and write and record other artists, so that's how I'm making my income. So I feel like I'm doing okay right now. Obviously, everybody can always do a little bit better, especially with the boost of extra money. But as far as me individually as a creator, I feel like not being on a label is better for me at this point. It could, change in time, but right now I like having total control over what I create. When I release it, nobody's telling me look like this, do this, make this sound. Definitely finding balance. You have to balance, making a living, and also finding the time to sit down and work and master your craft. Everything is a balance, I think. But particularly being a, singer, songwriter, producer, somebody who's like ultra creative and needs to find that, you know, um, time, it could be a challenge. So, making sure that you rest enough, that you're not beating yourself up too much, because a lot of times we do that. We're like, this sucks. There's a process to creating that can be damaging on your health, because you're constantly comparing yourself to bigger artists who do have all the funding and all the followers, and you feel like you're climbing up this mountain. So just making sure that you find balance, I think, is the best thing that you could do for yourself. At home, I felt I was doing so many gigs. I would work during the day and then sometimes do 2, 3 shows a night. And that was so fun, and the community there was great. You were able to perform a lot, and people were very just welcoming to allowing artists to, perform in that city. Once I got to LA, I'm an Asian American woman, so I feel like that's been a struggle here. You don't see a lot of Asian American artists on the scene, and that saddens me. So I think I came here for a reason. I also work with other artists like myself who want to get out there, but that's the reality for me, is that it's a bit challenging to get in big venues and get gigs and get recognition being, an Asian woman. So
Okay. And so before you came here, you thought it would be easier, or
I thought it would be easier, or I would just glide right in there, but there's actually, a challenge with that. So I'm here to address it.
No, that's good. That's what
What's up with that?
No, that's amazing. So the origin of your Asian heritage, what part of the world is that from?
My mother's from Thailand and my dad's from Romania.
That is amazing. I love that combination. Look at that.
Thank
And
you.
she's so
You love Thai
beautiful.
food.
I did have Thai food last. Have you ever made music and they're like, oh, this sounds great. And then all of a sudden there's another artist comes out and like, wait a minute, that sounds like my stuff.
All the time. My friend Diana and I do this. This happens to us and a lot of other creators I know. Yes, definitely. And you're like, wait, I just wrote something just like that.
Everyone, I just want to let you know our eye line might be going a certain way because we have a guest in the house. We have Diana Daydream. And I'm excited that she's here. She's a good friend of TXVX and myself. Diana was the one who created and produced the jingle of Up and Comers of Hollywood. So we're actually going to have her be interviewed probably the next season coming in, so you'll get to meet her. Do you want to say hi, Diana?
Sure. Like over there.
Over here.
Come over here. Come and say hi to the audience. So here is Diana real quick. We got a little peek in.
Hello.
This is the lady that wrote our Up and Comers of Hollywood. So I'm so glad she's here. Say hi to the audience. Here.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here just as an observer today, but support as well.
I love it. So we love doing fun things here, and especially with the ladies in the house. And we're all really doing what we have to do in our hustle and the love of what we do. And so I love that you love your music. And Diana, she's a producer and musician too. She does a lot of different things. They're so talented. Both of these ladies are so talented. So I'm so honored to be in both of your presence. So I just want to say that and let
I'm
the audience know
honored.
that. We talked about your challenges. Now let's talk about your successes. So, what have been your successes with the industry since you've been here in Los Angeles?
My successes are learning where I can fit in the industry and utilizing my skills as a vocal producer, as a music producer, as a background singer. Just knowing my powers, I think, is a great success because once you know what you can do, the sky's the limit. Like, I feel I've utilized all my skills to help others become successful. Other artists who I've worked with, their songs have done well, and yeah, that excites me, and I find that to be a win. So oftentimes, we put other things first and other people first to get the ball rolling as an artist, and that's okay too. Don't feel bad if you have to, start at the bottom or what you feel is the bottom, and climb your way up. That's a beautiful part. That's a success because you're learning your strengths. So
So, you're in the arena then. Your success would be that you're in the arena of the
yes,
music. So, what have you
yes.
done for other artists? Let's talk about the little details of what you've done. I have a feeling you've done a lot. You just kind of keeping it a little bit on the down
Yes.
low. Let's bring it up to light.
Okay. Well, I've done reference tracking for labels like Warner Brothers, or I recently closed a contract with a Japanese artist. I can't say their name, but you know, cool things like that where, the job just amazes me, where I'm like, I just got, you know, paid to do that. How cool. So that's exciting. I have a friend of mine, Polar Tropica. We did 2 records last year, and one of her songs got recognized in the Brit Music Awards. So that was really cool for our music video for the song What's Your Fantasy. So you guys check that out too. So I produced that record, and it's just really exciting to be in the arena.
Arena.
Yeah, that's how I feel as a woman. Like, I feel like I'm busting out all my moves, whatever I can do to try to, like, you know, get where I want to be, which is just working, getting paid what I deserve, as every creator should be. Right now, my main focus is my upcoming project, which is a full-length album, and that has consumed the last few years of my life, and it actually was finalized last December. So I just need to put it out. So nobody knows that I'm releasing a full album. This is new news right now. So I've been putting out singles. It's going to be an album.
Tell us about your album and what inspired you to make this album.
My album is titled Raining Roses. So first of all, I'm from Portland, Oregon, so the roses represent, for my city. And it is basically a story. So the story is about my journey and coming to understand that all my difficulties in life were actually my wins. And I feel like I just wanted to inspire others, and I felt like that was the best way I could convey my story was in songs. So each song kind of takes you on a journey, and I just wanted to, yeah, it's about self-love. It's about discovering your best self. It's about finding true love, like even in a relationship. It's like all aspects of things that I've experienced. So it's been a great experience writing it and working on it and being able to produce a lot of it myself. And I feel like it's a really big body of work, and I'm really proud of it. And on releasing it this end of this year.
So TXVX, I know you have your music on every platform out there. Spotify, Amazon, Pandora.
Yes.
How is that going for you?
I really love Spotify, and I would love if you guys could give me a follow on there and keep keep in touch with me there and stay in tune there, because it's exciting to see that I have listeners around the world. That's really encouraging, and I feel like I can keep going by gauging, what parts of the world my music is reaching, and it makes me feel so good to know that, yeah, I have viewers out there, places I've never been, and it's so cool.
So wonderful, and I just love that you're here, and we just love you. I can't wait to
I feel
hear
so
your music.
honored.
I can't wait to hear your music for the new year. I'm gonna be bumping it at my Christmas party.
It's 13 songs.
13 songs.
Yeah, it's a chunky one. It's a chunky project.
And I'm gonna download it for my parties.
Yay!
I have a lot of parties.
Woo!
We're taking a break. This is our last episode, episode 11. And we have 11 episodes per year. And so we'll be back at the first of the year with new interviews. So keep subscribing and following and get all of our messages and know when we're coming back with some new folks, okay? Everyone, be kind, but most of all, be kind to yourself. So let's share that, the kindness, especially the holidays are coming up. Let's get started with this kindness. Let's start this new 2024 with kindness. But most of all, be kind to yourself. No more of that talk, that chatter about we're not good enough, because we are. We're all good enough. So thank you so much, TVX. I knew I was going to say that.
You were on a roll. You were a hot potato.
That's a blooper.
On the TV.
Heard it here first. TXVX's first album is coming out at the end of this year. Perfect for the holidays, and I just hit my face. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Third time.
We should do bloopers.